Okay, so session is being recorded. I can see so. Cool. Let's do this. So for lesson 4, I like to explain how to do a critical path analysis to learners. And I think the best way to do these is to actually do them. That's the only way. We will do one example together, and then I'll give you 2 examples that you can attempt by yourself. And then, I want you to draw it out on pen and paper and then show me, put your camera on if you have it. If you can't, then that's fine. I'd like to then just to tell me what you did when you approached the task. Once we're done with the critical path analysis, I will go through the formative and the summative, and then yeah, that will be today's session. But today's session is all about actually getting involved, doing the work, and attempting to do a critical path analysis yourself. I do feel bad for learners that will miss this because this is quite tricky to do. It does require some maths, some knowledge about the critical path analysis, and it also can be a little bit creative. I think you're going to map out tasks, and it looks very cool when you're doing it. So if you look at my screen, you will see that I am using Miro, which is a specialist tool that you can use to map out anything. And I've used it many, many times before. I use this every time I do critical path analysis. So if I zoom out, you'll see that it's been done before, but you'll see that there's also many other things I've put on the platform, which I use, for general mapping of concepts, ideas, mind maps, whatever it might be. Okay. So the first thing to understand about a critical path analysis is that you need to use these blocks, these 6 blocks. They're going to become part of an important table, and you'll link them from block to block. Okay, let me just mute student support. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so you're going to be using these 6 labels or these 6 blocks. It's very important to note that these will, you'll use this to work out like when a task should begin, when it should end, and when a task is finished early and when it's finished late. Okay, so the first thing you need to know is the label. So ES would stand for early start. I just want to see if I can. There we go. So if I just highlight that, and I'll change the color so that you can see. So this would be early start. Then in the center here, we have our label. I just want to highlight that. There's a spelling mistake. Let me fix that. Just a label. Okay. Don't know why it looks so weird. Let me just fix this. Say I, and then we make this a little smaller, a little bigger. Okay. I think I know what happened, Jess. You just make this all red. Okay, I'm gonna put this there. Okay, did I spell label wrong? I did right the first time. Okay, then this here on the right would be, skip this, duplicate, early finish. Okay, so it would be pretty obvious that this is going to be late start. So I'm going to just change the color so that you can see it. Okay, and then the D is duration, so we don't need anything there. And then naturally, the final Alt F will be your late finish. Okay. Very important that you understand these labels, that you know where they go and what they're for. Duration is how long. I wonder if I have any texture. Oh, yeah. Okay, it's very important. So your duration can be months, it could be days, it could be weeks, it could be any of those measures or metrics. It's just very important. It's very important you make sure that if you're doing months, you're doing days, you're doing weeks, you stick by that. Okay, don't start with months and then switch to days and switch to weeks. It's just not going to work well. So I'd highly recommend that that you do it that way. Okay. Yeah, so I'd recommend that you do, if you do months, you stick to months. If you do days, you do days. If you do weeks, you stick to that. Okay, cool. Now I have a sample question that we can start with. So you'll see here that it says sample. So we discuss this as a class. So you'll see that we have a list of 7 tasks here. The first one says buy decorations, and it tells us how long. So it'll take 2 days. Bake a cake will take 1 day. Send out invitations 1 day. Buy groceries for snacks is 1 day. Set up decorations is another 1 day. Prepare snacks is 1 day, and then attend a party is 0 days because that's our end goal. So we can see that we're literally planning for a party. Okay, and it tells us that you can't set up the decorations until you've bought them. So task 1. You can't prepare the snacks until you've bought the groceries, and you can't attend the party until everything else is done. Okay, this is a very simple, nice, sweet example. What I want to do is you're going to use this. So let me remove the background here because we get all interlinked. Let's just borrow the table from the other one. Yeah, let's do that here. Okay, I just want to borrow this. I need this. Okay, let's go back here. Paste it. Okay, cool. That's very important. But let's start by mapping out the tasks. So that this is the first step to doing a critical path analysis. So the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out the sequence of the events, and we normally do this visually. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust this, maybe zoom in a little. Okay, make this a little bigger. Okay, so the first task here is task 1. It's buy decoration, so I'm going to call it task 1. Okay, we don't need to do it that way just yet, but task 1 is that buying decor. Task 2 is to bake the cake. I'm just going to put task 2 in. Okay, so let's start with, well, what is the first thing we need to do? So I think first thing is buy the decor. So that must come first. Bake the cake. I don't think it's necessary just yet. Send out invitations. Yeah, maybe we send out the invitations before we do the party. We need to think about it very practical. So send out invitations is task 3. Okay, and then we have buy groceries for snacks. So buying decorations, buying groceries, those things can happen at the same time. So I'm going to call this task 4 and put it here. Okay, let's see what's next. So then we have task 5, set up decorations. Okay, and then we have task 6, prepare snacks. The preparations of snacks can only happen once we have groceries. So there's a clear sequence of events. And then the last one is to attend the party, which is task 7. So I'm just going to put this right at the end. Yeah. Yeah, so let's start. So the first thing we need to do is task 3. Task 3 is to send out invitations. We don't do a party until we've done invitations, till we've done RSVPs. Do you agree? Give me a thumbs up if you do. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so once that's done, we can start connecting our lines. And I'm connecting another one. Let me just make this a little bigger. Seems a little small. See if that's there we go. Okay, then we can connect another. Nope. Connect that there. Okay, so what we're saying is task 3 will happen, and then task 1 and 4, which 1 is buying decor, 4 is buying groceries, can happen at the same time. Although we can see that 1 would be longer than 4, so something's going to happen simultaneously. Okay, then we can see that task 2 is to bake a cake. We need 1 day. So maybe all these 3 tasks can happen at the same time. So we're baking the cake. We are, let's see, task 3, send out invites. Oh, task 2 is the first thing. So we're baking the cake, and then we are setting up decor, and we are also preparing snacks. So these 3 things I think can happen at the same time. If you guys disagree with me in terms of what should happen at any given time, you're welcome to to say that you don't think it's possible to do all of this in such a short period of time. I think it is possible. Again, it is up to the project manager and their opinion and also the availability of resources. So I'm just going to link 4, 6, and 5. So 4 is to buy the snacks. Let me think. So setup decor, repair snacks. Oh, hold on. So I have this in a weird sequence. So task 1 is to buy decor. So 1 needs to link to setting up. 1 needs to link to 5. That must change. So you can see I've made a mistake there. So this must come there. I'll put this here. Yes, Bakati?
Sorry, Carl. I'm with Devin and Pipisa here. We are so lost. We are not sure what's in discussion at this moment.
Okay. We are
Mm.
doing a critical path analysis.
Critical
CP,
path
yes,
analysis.
CPA. It's it's a scheduling tool. It can be a little technical, but once you get come to grips of it, it gets kind of simple. Okay.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
what we're doing now is we're visualizing the sequence of events that would occur, in these tasks for this project to plan a party. Okay. Once we're done visualizing it, we will start mapping it out in terms of the duration and what activities can be moved around, what can be shuffled around. Okay, it can be a little tricky when we first discuss it. The first, conceptualization of it can be a little tough, but once you get it, you'll have it, I promise you. Okay, so task 1 and 5 are linked because you buy decorations, you set up decorations. Task 4 is to buy groceries, and task 2, so groceries is used to bake the cake and is also used for snacks. So hence these are linked. Okay, and remember task 7 is to attend the party. We can't attend the party until all of it's done. So you can see I'm linking it. Okay, and this is just a brief visualization of what this would look like in a critical path analysis. I'm just trying to make it look nicer. Okay. Yeah, so that's basically it for now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually present this using the table, which I showed you in the beginning. So remember, we want to use this to present our critical path analysis. Okay. So let's start with task 3. Okay, so you'll see that task 3 is our beginning point. So there isn't going to be any early start. There's going to be a late start because task 3 is the first one. Okay. And then you'll see that the duration for task 3 is 2 days. So I must update this. This is not correct. This is 2 days. Okay, and then the late start. So what we do, I need to remove this just so that I can show you how it works. Okay. Cool. So the earliest possible point that you can start your early finish, you have to do a little bit of a sum. Okay. So what you do is you say 0 plus 2 gives you 2. That's how you work that out. Okay, but let's keep mapping out for all the tasks. So we have let's put this here. Let me adjust the duration. Okay, maybe I should just remove all of these. Yeah, so now we just have empty tables. So we can use this visualization to help us with the mapping out of the tasks. And you must make sure that it's flexible enough so that you can, so that you can move things around. Okay, and then we're going to add one more, yeah, so for task 7. Okay, so it's meant to be exactly the same as the one we visualized before. Just going to put this down a bit more. Put this here. Okay. Yeah, so task 1, task 4. Okay, and then 5, 6, 2, 7. Okay, let's look at the duration. So we can see task 2 is 1 day. I don't know if it's clear. Yeah, task 2 is 1 day. Well, that's not okay. Wait, so let's see, task 1 is 2 days. Let's start there. The task 4 is 1 day. Okay, and I think it might be easier if we just call this T so that it's not so many numbers. Because it might be confusing if you just see the numbers. So we know it's tasks. Okay, so it's T1, T3, that's task. So let's look at task 5. Task 5 is 1 day. Lisa Nella is trying to join. Okay, so then task 5 is 1 day. Let's put the 1 in. Task 5 is there. Okay, task 6 is 1 day also, so change this to T, put the 1. Okay, and then let's see, task 2 is 1 day also. Just change this, add the T, put the 1. Okay, and then task 7 is 0 days because it's the last one. So we're not even gonna put a day there, we don't need to. It's T7. Okay, so now we've gotten all the days on, we have our tasks, so we know what's gonna happen. Now we're just gonna link it so that we can follow the sequence. So I'm gonna plug this in here, and I'll plug this in here. Okay, and then we can see that this is gonna go here, and this will go here, and this will go here. Okay, and then this can go here, here. And you can see that I've basically created the very same thing we have above, just with our blocks. Okay. Adjust it a little so it looks better. Okay, cool. So now you're going to say 0 plus 2 equals 2. Then you take the 2, you put it here. Take the 2, you put it here. Okay. Then you say 2 plus 2 is 4, so you put the 4. 2 plus 1, 3. Okay, so what we're seeing here, if we go back to this first table that I showed you, we're seeing that we're getting our early start and our early finish. So what we're seeing is for task 1, the earliest point that we can start task 1 is on day 2. Okay, we know that it's going to take 2 days to do task 1. So the earliest point that we can finish task 1 is on day 4. Okay, when we look at task 4, the earliest start date is day 2. Okay, and the earliest finish point is day 3 because it only takes 1 day to do. Okay, so then you take the 4, yeah, you put it here because that's the early start for T5. Then you take the 3 and you put it here. 3, 3. We do the math. So this is going to be 4. This is going to be 4. Okay, and that's going to be 5. Okay, now we've reached a point where we have several activities going into one. And the nice thing about critical path analysis is they say when we're going to the right, you take the biggest number. When you're coming back to the left, you take the smallest number. Okay. So what you must do is let's take the biggest number. So you take the 5 and you put, because 5 plus 0 is 5. So you put that 5 in there. So now the latest point that we're going to finish this is at day 5. So you put that there. Then when you go back, it's all about subtraction. Okay, so 5 minus 0 is 5. Okay, then you plug the 5 back in all of them. So 5 will come here, 5 will come here, 5 will come here. Okay, then we say 5 minus 1 is 4, so that's pretty standard, it's exactly the same. And the 4 will go back. You'll see that this will go exactly back the same way it came from the other way. Yeah, then we go back to this part here. You'll see that we have 5 minus 1 is 4. Okay, 5 minus 1 is 4. Both these numbers are the same, so just put the 4 in. Okay, and then 4 minus 1 is 3. And then we take the smallest number going back. Remember, smallest number, so it's a 2. So the 2 must come here, and 2 minus 2, 0. If you come back and you don't get a 0 on this, in this corner here, in this square, you've done something wrong. Okay, you must always start with 0 and finish with 0 on your first block. If you don't, then it means there's a calculation error. Okay. Now, when you ask me, what does this mean? What does all of this mean? I've done the math, I've presented it. What does it mean? It basically shows us that we have tasks, yeah, in this space. These two tasks, T6 and task 2, that can be moved around, which means you can move these tasks around and it won't affect the final endpoint. You can still finish in 5 days. Okay. Um, we can see that the latest point at which you can start task 6 without affecting the final date, the finish date, is on day 4. You can leave task 6 till day 4. You can also leave task 2 until day 4. You don't have to start it on day 3. And the latest point that you have to have it finished by is on day 5, which is very true because our party starts on 5. If you don't have it finished by day 5, then your party is going to be delayed. And that's what we're doing with the critical path analysis. Okay, what you want to do is you want to identify the tasks that you can shuffle around, that can be moved around so that it's easier on the team or easier on the project manager. And you want to see which tasks are not going to be easy to move around, which ones are going to, really require that they remain fixed and they start at that particular date and they have to finish at that date. Okay. So you'll see, let me just show you. So I want to look, normally it's the tasks that take more days that you can't move around. So normally it would be like this task 2, the duration is longer, which means this you can't move. It will have a major impact on everything else, in fact. So I think this is the only one that's really urgent. The rest of these are, it's one day to do. It's quite simple. Yeah, but it's very important that we follow the sequence so that you don't affect the final finish date, so you don't create a delay in the project. Okay? Does this one make sense? Must we do one more together? I know it's quite a tricky concept. I'm going to put the critical path analysis line. So task 1 is always going to be a part of the critical path analysis. I think, let me just put this here. So I'm just going to adjust it until I feel like I've accommodated. Hold on, this must go here. Let's see if we can adjust this to fit our needs. I think this must go here. This must go down. So I'm just trying to accommodate for all the important tasks so that our critical line covers it. Let's have a look here. Okay, and then we can even make it red so that it sticks out a bit. Make it thicker. That is as thick as it's going to be. Okay, and this is considered our critical line. I think actually this one also, this line shouldn't be like that. Should be, yeah, it's very tricky. We've got to, there we go. See, I think the reason why we can't move task 5 is because it's kind of keeping a placeholder for task 6 and 2. And these things are all happening at the same time. I don't know. It's like up to you as a project manager, how you interpret the tasks, how well you think things could be moved around. Okay, so I think let's do one more together. And then I'm going to give you one that you must try on your own with a pen and paper to see if you can map it out. Okay, so I want to pick, let's do the next one. I think let's do, this one is quite tricky, but I think let's do it. Okay, so we're always going to start with mapping it out. So duplicate, come back down here. I feel like I've lost you as a group, but I think maybe we do one more and then we'll see how we feel about it afterwards. Okay, so this is a good example. This is how they would have presented in an exam, if you were to write exams. So you can see that we're starting with task A. There's no predecessor. Okay. And we can see that, okay, cool. We can see that task A is there. And you can see that there's nothing before A, but you can see B and C are linked to A. So you put B, A, duplicate, and you add the C. Okay, and then you can see that D is linked to B, so D must like B must come before D. So we put this there. Why is it adding stuff? Then you can see that in our next one, E will come after C and F will come after C also. So I'm just going to duplicate. And I might just move this down a bit just so that it looks a little neater. Let me adjust the numbering. It's E and it's F. Okay. Yeah, and then okay, and then let's see what's after that. So we have G, which will come after D and E. So G. Okay, and then we have H, which is after F and G. So duplicate. You can see it's getting quite big, but H will come here. And I'm just going to connect it so that it makes sense to me. I'm going to add the lines. And this is just your visual representation of the, of your critical path analysis. This isn't the complete version, just so that we fully understand that. Just zoom in a little. So if I remember correctly, F will plug in here. You can always go back and confirm. So it's FG. You'll see FG is linking to H. Okay, then it says G must link to DE. So you see we have our E, we have our D, and it's linked. Okay. Then we have, let's see, so what links to D? So we can see that B links to D. So let's link that. Okay, and then what links to E? You see that C links to E. But we also know that C is linking to F. And then we know that A is split. It's linking to both B and C. And this is just a visual representation of what this critical path analysis should look like. I just want to move it a little closer, a little inwards. Okay, now that we know what it should look like, we can start plotting it with our numbers and work out our early start, early finish, our late finish, late start. Okay, let me go back up here. You just want to borrow this. Always nice when you can just borrow these things that I've previously created. Otherwise, you create the blocks one by one, it takes a while. I remember I had to do it once in a class. It was quite lengthy. Okay, so we're just going to change this. And now we can use the letters that it's provided with, that comes with it. Let me remove that. You have to just be cautious with Miro because sometimes it will automatically add lines and stuff. So just be cautious. Okay, so now I'm just going to copy what we've done on the top here. Duplicate. Okay, and then I want to explain what a forward pass is and a backward pass. It's very important for this. And there are questions on it. So it's very important that you know what it is. But for now, let's just put let's just put our numbers, our letters, and everything in. I think I should just do this quickly. Remove these because we're going to be putting it in anyway. So then we duplicate. And we duplicate. And we duplicate. Okay, and then we must add for G. So put that there. Maybe just put this in between actually. And then we duplicate for H. Okay, and now let's start linking it back. See that this, I don't know why it's gone all weird now. I'll fix this. Just go back to type. Okay, we can see that this was linking. We're gonna link that there. Again, it's gone all weird with the type thing. I want it to be a little more free-flowing. We can see that this links there. And this links here. So I'll just fix that again together. Okay, then we can see that this would link. Let me see. So this would link here. I think, yeah. And then this would link here. And then we can just fix this. So we're gonna go, yeah. type, make it a little more loose, and then we'll just link these bad boys, yeah? Okay, so now we've gotten the basic setup done. Let's put the letters in. We'll see this is C. We'll see that this is F. This is D. This is E. This is G. And then this is H. Okay, now let's start with duration. So we can see that A is going to take 3 days. So I'm going to put the 3 in. Okay, then we say 0 plus 3 is 3. Okay, then we take the 3 and we plug it in on the early start. Because remember, this is our early finish. Our early finish becomes our early start in the next one. Okay, then our durations for B and C, you see that this is 4. Very important that we know. Okay. And then we'll say, let's see, so then we have, so it's C, D. D has got 5 in its duration. So I'm going to put the durations in. E has got 1. I think F has 2. It's very important that when you do this, you copy the numbers over correctly. What does G have? G has 4 and then 3. So 4 and then 3. Okay, so we're going to say 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 plus 4 is 7. Just add the numbers. 3 plus 4 is 7 on the bottom here. Is that exactly the same? It's 2 4s. That doesn't seem right. No, there's a mistake. No one's watching me. So this is supposed to be 2. Yeah, so 3 plus 5. My apologies. Okay, so then we can see that this must be linked also. Okay, so we're going to put the 5 in both E and F. Let's open it back. Okay. Yeah, let's put the 7 here also. Okay, so 7 plus 5 is 12. Some quick math. 5 plus 1 is 6. Okay, 5 plus 2 is 7. Okay, now we have 2 that are linking to G. Remember what I said, when we go from left to right, you take the biggest number. So 12 plus 4 is 16. Okay, so now we have 16 and 7 that are linking to H. So you're going to take the 16, and you say 16 plus 3 is 19. Okay, and that's our final, H is our last point. So this early finish is also our late finish. So it's going to become 19. 19 minus 3 is 16. It's quite simple. And see that 16 is linking to 2. So we're going to put the 16 here, and we're going to put the 16 here. Okay. Whoa, something happened there. Let me undo that. I don't know what I did there. I hope it hasn't affected anything. So put the 16 here. Okay, then we see that we have 2 numbers. Let me think. Okay, let me run the numbers. So 16 minus 4 is 12, which is fine. Okay, 16 minus 2 is 14. And then we have 12 here and 12 here. So I'm literally taking the number from here and I'm plugging them in our late finish. Okay, 12 minus 5 is 7. Yeah, it's still correct. 12 minus 1 is 11. Okay, and then 16 minus 2 is 14. Okay, that's correct. Now you can see we've got 2 numbers here. We have the 11, we have the 14. So we need to decide that the lowest number must go. So 11 must go there. So I'm taking the lowest number because it's 11. 11 minus 2 is 9, so put the 9. Okay, then we have 7, let's come back here. And then 7 minus 4 is 3. And then remember, we always pick the smallest number when you go back, so it's going to be 3. And you'll see that it will always equal 0 because 3 minus 3 is 0. Okay, and that's basically the critical path analysis. Now, what I want to do is I want to bring our line back so that we can indicate what is the critical line. What are the tasks that are important? Okay, so the first task is always going to be important, so it will always be above the line. Okay. I think B is also important. Because the reason why I think B is important is because you can't really move it around. Okay, when you look at C comparatively, like if you started C late, you started on the ninth day, or on the ninth week, whatever the measure is. Uh, that means you can move C around. You can start C on day 6, and it wouldn't have an impact on the end. If you started C on day 10, it will impact E and F, which will eventually impact H, which means we won't finish on 19. And that's why it's important that we know what is critical and what is not. You can see that C you can move around. You can move C later. It won't have a major impact. Okay. I think the same also with E and F. You can see that you can start F on day 14, which is it's out there, from 5 to 14. That's a big difference. There's a lot of room to move it around. The same with E. Okay, the same with E. Okay, but with D, you can see that it's the same. The difference between the late start and early start is nothing, which means you can't move it around. It has to happen on that day. If it doesn't happen on that day, it will have an impact on our finish. Okay, it means we'll finish the project delayed. We'll be delayed in finishing the project. My apologies, I worded that very weirdly. But I'm gonna just push this there. Okay, let me just drag this here. Okay, and then always your last task, um, your last task will always be above the critical line. Okay, and there's a reason why it's that way. Just want to see if I can adjust this. I want to just bring this down a bit, just a little bit. There we go. So that my line is not being touched by anything major. Okay, so anything above the line is going to be critical. Anything below the line is not really that critical. You can move it around. If you move it by a day or two, it won't really affect your project. Okay. But when we look at G, for example, it has to start on day 12. If it doesn't start on day 12, it affects our finish point. And the same for D, the same for B, and obviously A. If A doesn't start, nothing happens. Okay. Does this make sense? Not getting anything back. Rowan says yes. Let's see. Zanele.
Hi, Carl.
Hi there.
Yes, I'm not gonna lie and say that I understand. And we really, really apologize for attending late. We were attending a session in Sentin, therefore we got in like a little bit late here in the office. So Novitl and I are lost. We don't understand what is happening.
No, I mean you've seen the second one though. You've like this. I've done this second example with you. Yeah, present.
Yes, we were
Yeah.
here, we were following the patterns. But then what is the assessment about?
Okay, so this is lesson 4. It's all about scheduling tools, and we push learners to do a critical path analysis. This is critical path analysis. You can see that we have our critical path right here. This line is our critical path that the project must follow. If any of these blocks on the top get moved around, these are activities. So if any of these activities get moved around, it negatively affects the finish date of the project. Okay, but the ones below the line, you can move them around. You have a lot more flexibility. So you'll see that if we go back up here, I'll show you. I explained what the block is. So you have your early start, your late start, your early finish, your late finish. So if a project has the same number for early start and late start, it means that you can't move it around. That task has to happen on that day. If it doesn't happen on that day, your project's going to be delayed. And the same for the late finish, early finish. Okay, so when we go down, you'll see on this one, you see there's no difference here between our early finish and late finish. There's no difference between our early finish, late finish. No difference, no difference. These are all critical tasks. Whereas here on the bottom, we have quite a few days that are
Yes.
separating us.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you start, you start by, you start with zeros and you put the duration for each of the tasks. So if you go back here, you'll see that this is task A. The duration is 3, so I put the duration here. and you take the 0, you add the 3, and you put that there as your early finish. Then you obviously the blocks are linked. That's why we map it out so we know what the linkages are. Then you carry the 3 forward to the following blocks. And the reason why we carry this 3 forward is as soon as A finishes, B and C can start. So that's why we say we put the 3. And then you go look at B. What is the duration for B? B is 4 days. So you put the 4. Okay, C is 2 days. You see, it's making sense, huh?
Yeah.
Put the 2. Then you add it. So 3 plus 2, put the 5, because that's the latest point you can finish. Remember, we start on day 3. It takes 2 days to do activity C. And the earliest point at which you can finish it is on day 5. Okay, then once you get to the end, you'll have all these gaps on the bottom, and that's when you minus your way back. So the earliest point we can finish is on day 19. We want to finish on day 19, so we're saying our latest point for finish is day 19. We don't change it. We don't say, oh, the latest point we can finish is day 20 or 21. We want to see which activities can be moved around. That's why we don't change this. This must be 19. This must be 19. Then you minus, so 19 minus the 3 gives you 16. You plug the 16 in backwards. So you see that the linkage here between H and G and between H and F means you must put the 16 and the 16. Then you start minusing. 16 minus 4 is 12. Put the 12. And then you minus on the bottom here. So 16 minus 2 is 14. Yeah, and then you have two numbers here. When you go backwards, you always pick the smallest number. Okay, when you go forward, you always pick the biggest number. Okay, and this thing that I wanted to tell you is when you go forwards, and you pick the biggest number, that is called a forward pass. And when you go backwards and you select the smallest number, that is called a backwards pass. Okay. Let me see. I see that someone else said they're confused. But Kathy?
It's okay. I got it. Thank you.
Okay. That was very echoey, but it seems like you got it. Who is student support? Who's using that account? Okay. Okay, Devin, Patrick, do you understand it?
Good afternoon. Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay, brilliant. Seeing as most of us understand it, I want you to try and do one by yourself. Let me see, where's my sample question? Yeah, here it is. So I'm going to put this on here, and I'll even add a timer. I think there is a timer feature. No, it doesn't let me use this. I need to pay for an account. It's fine, I'll get a timer. Don't you worry. Let me see if I can just... Okay, it's fine. I'll set a timer on my phone, but I'm going to give you, let's say 15 minutes to try and do this one. Okay. Is that all good? Just give me a thumbs up if you're cool with that. You're clear? I'll zoom in a little. Okay, Rowan says yes. So just use a pen and paper. If you want, you can quickly sign into Miro and do it on there. What I want to do is I'm going to also just add, I'll put this here on the screen so that you have it. No, not like that. Why doesn't it copy? Actually, I'll just drag the whole thing. It's fine. I'll just put it here on the screen so that you have it. Okay, so you have your questions, you have the labels that will help you. Okay, so 15 minutes. Okay, starting now. Yeah, so we have 4 minutes. Okay, we have 30 seconds. Do we need extra time? Rowan, how's it going at your end?
Now I'm a bit confused, but I'm trying to get it right. So we'll see.
Okay, no problem. Okay, let's see. Devin, Patrick, how did you get it?
Almost. I'm struggling just a bit.
I think I know where you're struggling, but it's fine. Zanele, Bayela, do you have it? Pepisa, Mike,
Hello.
how are you?
Yes. Yeah. Hi, Carl. How are you?
All right, and you?
Uh, sorry. So I'm okay, man. I'm sorry. I was just being called for other. I couldn't. I got in late.
Yeah, you're gonna be punished for it, you know?
Please don't whip me.
No, these tasks are very tricky, you know? Yeah, you need to
Okay.
join early so that you can understand what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And it's just work. You know, sometimes some of the things we can't let go, but it's okay.
Okay.
I'll take the hiding.
Okay, well, let's see. Let me check in with, let me see. McCarthy, how are we finding it?
Hi, Carl. I'm honestly very lost when it comes to this. I'm not getting it 100%, but sitting with Devin and Pippi's, we're trying to figure it out.
Okay. Okay. This one requires that you make a decision as a project manager. A very important decision in terms of a sequence of events and what you'd plug into what. But this one's also quite simple, like in terms of the logical flow. Okay. Do you want me to help with this one and find a simpler one for you guys to try? That's maybe there might be an easier example.
Yes,
Mm.
please.
Yes, please.
Let me see what I have here. So this is the one you're busy with. This one. If this was an exact, like a question from an exam paper I stole so they can use for classes. This one we've done already. I think this one is simple. Because it's fine. I think I'll help you with the one that you're busy with, and I'll give you another one. And then we'll look at the work and wrap up today's session. So the reason why I show you this tool is, you know, it's a great way to show your understanding of project management, to show that you know how project management does, and it's a great way to show off methodology, to say, hey, I know how this methodology works. Yeah. Again, you're not necessarily, you won't be necessarily required to do this unless they ask. I think they do ask for it in the workplace. But other than that, like it will be your choice. A lot of my former learners who did project management with me would do critical path analysis because they thought it was a great way to show off the skill, you know, or their project management prowess, shall we say. Yeah, so we have tasks all the way going to G. So we have task A. Okay, so I'm going to help you with this one. So there is a little bit of a requirement of decision making. Okay, I see the Kishan is back. Okay, so task C, task D, task E. I'm just putting these in, so we'll organize them now. And then we have F and G. F and G. Okay. Let's start organizing. But the flow of this one's quite simple. They tell you that there's a few that happen sequentially. So two of the stuff happens together. So B and C will literally be simultaneous tasks. Okay, and then we have D and E. And this is where it could get a little tricky for those of us who are not so comfortable. And then we have F and G. Okay, and F and G continues that normal logical flow with no duplications, no parallel tasks. Okay. So we can see that A is going to go into B and C. And then it says task B and C. So what you do in this one is you can decide like which would link first, but I think it's very important that you link the tasks that take longer must be linked first. So you can see that task C is 10 days and task D is 6 days. So I'd almost link it across. Maybe I'll switch this around actually. Just switch this like this, put this here. So I'm switching it because of duration. It's very important that we think about duration. Put that there, and then link. And literally like this, because they haven't given us the dependency, we've created our own dependency. Okay. Let me see. So then we have task, we've linked C and D. And they're saying task D and E must happen at the same time also. So we can always just link it going downwards. Okay. And another way you could do this, just to make sure that there's further control, just so if you have the backwards also, maybe you want to link this to D. I know it's gone all zigzaggy. Maybe just do it that way. Put this down here. Yeah, it might look a little confusing. Okay, but it will make sense, I promise you. Okay, and then we can see that task D and E. Let's see, so task D is the more lengthy one. I just switched them around. And then we have task E, which is 5 days. Maybe I should switch it back. I just switched it because of this, because I don't want to create a triangle here. It seems like it's unavoidable. Yeah, and then we'll link this going down, and then we link this. And I mean, you link both. Because remember, you have to do your LF. Actually, then this doesn't matter, the sequence, now that I think about it. You can see how flexible Miro is. You can really move things around and play around with it and adjust if you feel like what you did doesn't make sense. Yes, you can see that I'm double linking, but there's a reason why I'm double linking, because remember, I have to come back and do my late finish calculation. It doesn't work if I don't have linkage. Otherwise, it will just take the existing number and it will minus itself out regardless. Okay. And then also, if I've mapped this out incorrectly, my calculations will show it. Like when I start working out what goes where, what my early start, my late, when I start working that out and it doesn't make sense, then you know, okay, there was a calculation error. Let's go down and let's put this in. No, don't know what we're doing here. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to remove all of this. I just want several empty blocks. That's all I want. Okay, I'm going to remove this. Okay, then we're going to say duplicate. So, and we're just going to follow the sequence that we have above. Put this here. And again, it's mapped out a little tricky. Like oh, I did that wrong. It's not as simple as I prefer them to be, but it is what it is. We have two here, so yeah. These tasks are also fun when we do them face to face. Yeah, and then one more for task G. Zanele, you noticing something? Did I make a mistake?
Yes, I wanted to ask, you said that the task that has more duration has to be on top, right?
Hmm.
And I see the E is 5 days and D is 6 days. Is D not supposed to be on top of E?
Oh, yes, it is. Okay, thanks. Okay, so yeah, you're right. I just didn't like, you see what it does? It's like creating this cross.
Oh, okay.
It's driving me crazy. Maybe let me try. I'll see. You know what I'll do, and it might not work. Let's see if it creates a calculation error. Let me see if I link E and B, if it does anything to the final. It all depends on what happens when we come back. We'll see. Okay. I just didn't like creating a zigzag cross on the, sorry, my camera's off. I didn't like creating a cross on, where it will confuse you. But it's fun. Let me see what happens when we do it. So I'll put the labels in. And that was a very good observation. I'm glad that you're focusing on what I'm saying. I'm just putting the labels and let's see what happens. We have E, okay, and then we have F here. I think that G is a little too far out, so I'll just move it in a little. Okay. Let's start creating our linkages so that we have that done. You can see that this is going to link here. Okay, and then a link, quite tricky. Yeah, it's going to be quite tricky when we link it back. This is why maybe this was not a good question to start with. But it's fine, it's manageable. It's manageable. It's also up to your project manager and how they've interpreted the dates and what they think is the best sequence. It's, expertise and all of that that comes to the forefront. So 10, I'm just putting the durations in. The D is 6. I don't know how I'm seeing it, but I am. E is 5. I think there's a mistake here. This mustn't be D. This has got to be F. And F is 8. Okay. And then G is 4. Okay. Let us start doing our little calculations. So we know we're going to start with 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. So put the 5 there. Okay, we're going to carry the 5 over to the C and the B. Put the 5, put the 5. Okay. Then you see 5 plus 10 is 15. Okay, 5 plus 7 is 12. Okay, then we're going to carry. And we remember when we carry forward, we always take the biggest number. So 15 on both fronts. So 15, yeah. Then it's linked. I've linked both of them. Let's see. So maybe this linkage here is pointless. Yeah, it might be pointless, but let's just keep going. It's fine. We'll see what happens. 21. So 6 plus 5 is 21 and 20. Then we take the biggest number forward. So it's going to be 21 plus 8 is 29. Let's see what happens. 29 carried forward plus 4 is 33. Okay, put the 33 here. 33 minus 4 is 29. Quite simple. 29 goes back again, gives us 21. Okay. Then we're going to take it and we're going to put it in both 21, 21. Okay, 21 minus 5 is going to be 16. 21 minus is going to be 15. And remember, when we go back, we take the smallest number. Okay. So I think even, yeah, this is going to remain 15. This is going to be 16. Remember that the linkage, so this links to B, but D doesn't link that way at all. Yeah, so it hasn't created a problem for us yet. So 16 minus 7, we'll see. The only time you know is when you get back to your first block, whether you've made a mistake or not. So 16 minus 7 is going to be 9. Okay, and then 50, so it's going to be 5. So 15 minus 10 is 5. You carry the smallest number. Okay, and it gives us 0. If you get 0 at the end, then you know you've beat it, you've won. Okay, which means this little zigzag cross thing here wasn't a problem at all for us. Okay, and what we've seen is that we can take this E task and we can shuffle it. You can delay it by 1 day, literally 1 day. That's the latest you can do. Okay, with task B, you have 4 days to play around with, where it won't affect the end date. Okay, so it's literally just these 2 tasks here that will be excluded from a critical path. So if I go up and I take this, we just copy it. And we'll put it in, yeah, it's going to be, this one should be quite simple because there's only 2 activities that are not going to be a part of a critical path. Just going to put this, let's just adjust it here. It's up a little. Okay. And then we drag this up. Okay, and you'll basically see that all the tasks on the top, which is majority of them, is our critical path. And then anything below you can move around. You have a little more flexibility with as a project manager. Make sense? Did we see any errors in the calculation? Okay, Sanella says yes, Devin says yes. Okay, and then I would like to just point out that when you do this, you're going to be creating your own schedule. You know what I mean? You set the tasks, you set the durations. It's all up to you. And then when you create it, remember you've created it. When you do this task for your own project, you're going to tell us what the task is. You're going to tell us the duration, and you're going to tell us what the sequence is, what must go first, second, third, that kind of thing. And what can happen together, parallel. So the other benefit of doing a critical path analysis is it lets you think about the project holistically, the tasks, and what can be moved around without affecting that final finish date. Okay, I want us to do one more, and this one is for you. Yeah, I just want to see to make sure it's not too complicated. Okay, I think this one's good. It's in the form of a Word document. So I'm just going to put that up as is, and then hopefully you can see it. So it's a lot on the screen at once. Yeah, let's see. Let's see if I can just make this a little simpler. Just bring this down a bit. Okay, I have an idea. I'll just take a screenshot of this. Just bear with me. I'm going to come back here, push this aside. That should be a lot clearer now. And then I'm going to get the instructions. There are notes that you need to take note of, which is very important. We need that. Okay, can we all see the notes and the day, the activities, all of that? Is it all clear? Okay, Kishan says yes. I'm gonna take that as a majority thing. Okay, so you have task A, B, C, Zanele.
Yes. The screen is a little. The letters are tiny. Can you increase a bit?
Okay, let me see what I can do.
Yes, we can see now.
Okay, I'm just gonna push this in. Unfortunately, I have to make this a little smaller.
No, we can see. Thank you.
Okay, great. So you have your task A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. You can see that some things they give you dependencies on this one. Okay, so dependency is what must come before. So remember, you start by creating the visual map. So visually map it out, and then start doing your maths, your calculations. Start working at, what is your late start, your early start, what is your late finish, and your early finish, and that sort of thing. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys 10 minutes to do this, and then we're gonna go into we'll do answers, and then we'll go into the formative, the summative, and the workplace requirements. Okay, 10 minutes. Okay, so we should be done soon. Give me a thumbs up if we are. Okay, time's up, eh? Sanele, how far did you get? Okay, Devin, did you get it done?
Yes, we got it done. Thank you.
Nice. Okay, do you want to share your answer?
Not very confident about giving it a try.
You're not confident. Okay, it's fine. Zanele, did you get it done?
We were still discussing myself and Nupushi, so we did not reach to the end.
Okay. Did you map it out? Did you start doing the sums?
Yes, we were still on on mapping it out.
Okay, I see. Yeah, let me see. Pakati, how far did you get?
Carl, I think we managed to do it.
Okay, brilliant. I'm happy to hear that.
I think so. But I just want to see if it's correct, but I think I did it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. Rowan, were you able to get it?
Halfway there, I had to step away. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so I'll just show you the answer. And then we will take it from there. Yes, I need to remember these. I have it on my other screen, thankfully. So I don't need the instructions. I hope you guys are okay with me doing it without you seeing the instructions. Let me start. I'll do this quickly. Okay, so we need to start by mapping it out. So we're gonna go duplicate and just paste this here. That's what we need. Okay, so we start with task A, and you see that task A starts on its own. Task B is linked to A. So I'm just gonna duplicate and link. Add the D. Nope, cancel. Sorry, it's a B. Okay. Okay, and then we see that task C as linked to task B. So far it's just a straight line. Okay, just wanna organize it a little better. Okay, and then we have task D, which is linked to C. Yeah, and then we can see that there are several tasks linked to D. So E, F, and G. So 3 of them are linked. I'm just going to put that there. E, duplicate, F, and then G. Okay. And then we can see that H is linked to E and F. This one was a little longer than the other ones. E and F. So H is linked to E and F. Okay, and then we can see that I and J is linked to H. So it's quite simple. We're just going to duplicate again, add the I, and then we add the J. Okay, and then we can see that K is linked to G. K is linked to G. All the way there. Task K is kind of weird. Which is where it sits. It could you could place it like, yeah, it doesn't have to necessarily be at the end. It just sits there by itself. You can see I'm going to start linking it. I mean, again, it's up to you as the project manager. If you want to put K in front of I and J, you're welcome to. It doesn't matter. And then we could see that H was linked to E and F like that, I believe. I'll confirm. Yeah. And then it was D that had all the linkages. So like D is the kickstarting point for a lot of activities in our projects. Okay. Do we all, or do most of us have the same thing or similar kind of layout for the visual presentation of this? Devin, what did you guys have something similar? Just give me a thumbs up. You don't.
Yes, we got it exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, but guys, come on, listen properly. So I was telling Minnie that. So you see, we were actually debating about task K. So
Okay.
someone was saying, no, it must go on top. Yeah, it must go over. I told them, no, task K. You see why you put it colors? No.
Carl, I figured it out with the help of the team. Thank you.
Okay. Brilliant. Brilliant. I'm glad that we're arguing on that side. That's good. Okay, so I'm gonna get the other blocks so that we can start working out what goes where. Or in terms of running in the numbers, that's what we're doing actually. For the critical analysis. Okay, so it's such a mission, you have to delete everything. I should have just kept one blank one. Okay, and I hope that today, even though it's quite tricky, it's different. I hope that it's, it's something different from the traditional class sessions we do, where you just sit and listen. Yes, sometimes we try to mix things up, make sure it's more interactive. There's tasks for you to do. Okay, so I'm just gonna put these in. So let me just label them. I hope I have all the right ones. So it's A. Did I put this in the right section? Yes, I did. Okay. B, C, D, and then we got to E, F. So just gonna put this down there. Yeah, you can see that this one is quite big. Just want to see if I can make it work. I like the way it looks when you're done. It looks very like I want to say professional, but also looks technical. It shows, that technical prowess that would a project manager would have. Okay. And then just put for K. So again, you could set it up and then you'd probably adjust it to accommodate for the lengthier tasks. There's something missing. There's one missing. This is for H, I believe. As I need one for J. I should just take this one. So if why am I putting that? I'm doing it the wrong way around. Let's do it like this. Ish. Yeah, I will adjust. It's not sitting perfectly. Okay. Then we have E, E, and then we have F, and we have G. Okay, now we just need to connect all of them. That's the wrong way. We just fix that. There we go. You see, Mara is a great tool for this sort of thing. Does it very well. As you can see, I think, yeah, H was on its own there. Okay, and then D was the one that connected to everything. D is the main connector. If we had to also consider like which tasks are very important by doing a critical path analysis, I'm sure we can all agree that D would be the task that carries a lot of weight. That's when you want your team to be operating at optimal performance. You don't want there to be any mistakes on D because it's going to affect the entire project. Okay, let's start by putting our figures in. So duration is 10. We're doing it in days now. So we could say let's do our calculation. So 0 plus 10 is 10. B is 15. So I want to say check me, but you don't really have the figures. unless you've done it. So it's going to be 25. Carry the 25. It's going to be, what is C? C is 20. It's going to be 45. And then D is 25. So it's very high numbers. So 45 plus 25 is 70. And you can see that the 70 is going to go in all of these ones. And then E is how many? Let's see, E is 15. F is 12. Yeah, I can already see where we might want to shift things around a bit. And then G is going to be 20. I already think that G should be on the top. So yeah, I think G and K is going to switch, going to go upwards. So if we were arguing about that, now would be a good time to say I told you so. Just move this, create some more space. I just want to adjust there, put this there. Okay, the reason why I'm adjusting it is because I want G, which has got some of our, it has a higher volume of days. So when we do our critical path, will sit on top so that it doesn't mess with our critical path lining. Okay, how many days are there in H? So it's going to be 18. J has got 10. I has got 10. And K has got 15. Just because of how long 15 is also, it makes sense that it goes right on top. Okay, so now we have our numbers. Let's keep going. So we have 70 plus 20. You zoom in a bit so you can see. 70 plus 20 is 90. That 90 is going straight to the K. And that's going to give us 105 at the end. Okay. Let's see. So we have 70 plus 15. It's going to be 85. Okay, 70 plus 12 is 82. Okay, which is bigger? Remember, we take the biggest number, 85 plus the 18. Yeah, we're really testing my math. So it's going to be 90 plus 13, 103. Just confirm if I'm correct. I'm quickly adding it together. Is that correct? I think it is correct. 103. You'll just confirm if I'm incorrect. I'll adjust. 113. 113. Okay, so now we're going to start working backwards. Okay. So if we follow this, maybe we want to bring K backward because you can see that 113 is a higher number. But it doesn't mean that K must be on the bottom. Okay, it just means that this is our final point in the project. Okay, so let's see. 105 is where this line would end. 105 minus, so it's going to be 90. It's just going to follow itself back. It's not a problem. 90, 70. Quite simple. Okay, so 113. This is also going to be very simple. As you can see, it's going to follow itself. And you'll have your 103 and you'll have your 103. Yeah, I feel like there's a great chance that this might just come here. And I hate that the line is going to cut across the H, but there's a reason why. We want to make sure that yeah, we don't want it to be on the wrong side of our critical path analysis. So maybe if I just send 2 back. Yeah, unfortunately it's cutting across, but I feel like we have no choice in this regard because of the 105 and just the size of it. It is a little more flexible. I don't know. It depends. It's up to you as a project manager. I am. See, the other thing I'm noticing is we have 90 and 90, which means this is a critical task. These are also critical tasks. So perhaps all of these would be included above the line. Okay, so we have 103 minus the 18 gives you that 85. Yeah, then we put the 85 back. Sorry, 85. 85. Okay, so 85 minus 15 is 70. 85 minus 12 is gonna be 73. Okay, I believe. You take the smallest number, it's the 70. Work your way back. 45. 45. 25. You can see that it's just following itself now. This is where it's very simple, quite monotonous. I did something there. Okay, put the 10. 10, just seeing it through to the end. Okay. Cool, and that is basically how we've done it with this very tricky, complicated one. It's not the worst one we've seen by far. I just want to move this down a little. Yeah, I want to get the line of the critical path line so that we can draw the line. So now if you're able to do a critical path analysis, you've demonstrated quite a like technical understanding of project management. Okay, McCarthy?
Can you please go back to the initial question so that I can just screenshot it so that I can reference it to this when I do the actual.
Okay, so these questions I will share with you on the platform.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, you'll get the questions. Don't worry about that.
All right, thanks.
Okay, so I'm looking for any tasks that have 70/70 or have the same, these are the tasks that can't move around. So these are the ones I want to just keep an eye on because that they have to be above the critical path line. So you can see that most of the tasks in this, except for this right here, this F. So I'm just going to adjust it so that I can move it down a bit more, and then I can bring this back here. It's just that F that you can't really move around. Everything else must start and end on cue, okay, as planned, as scheduled. Okay, we have very little leeway with this project. There's no margin for error. The only thing is F where, this can be pushed around. The rest is just, yeah. Okay, that is your critical path analysis. Okay, brilliant. So I want to just quickly go through the work. We've got 10 minutes before our session ends. And then, then we'll release the material. It should be released today. Okay. So you'll see I got the questions from one of the other groups, but I'll share it with this group. Let me see, which group are we dealing? Yes, I'll just open the work here. It's fine. So that you can see the workbook, the summative. You'll see it's quite straightforward. Okay, so they give you a project brief. Okay, they tell you that you need to produce the initial work schedule. So based on the brief, you must give the activities, the start, the end. Is it parallel? Is it sequential? When we say is it parallel, the thing we're referring to is we're asking you, is it things that will run in tandem or is it something that's going to follow a sequence? Is it sequential? Okay. I just want to find oh, here it is. Okay. Then it says identify and estimate resources for each of the activities. So based on what you've provided, the list of activities, tell me what are the resources you'll need. Sorry, I didn't notice this before. So tell me what resources you'll need to do each of the activities. And then it says compile a risk analysis of the work resources. So tell me what the risks are. So, and they even give you a table that guides you in terms of answering. So give me the resource, give me the risk rating, give me the risk allocation. So which project team member will it be allocated to, and give me a risk solution. And then when we say give a risk rating, I mean you can create the scale. You can say 1, it's a very volatile risk, it's dangerous, it needs to be dealt with. 2, it's a moderate risk. It's gonna set us back a few days, but it won't destroy the project. Or 3, it's just something we need to keep an eye on. It won't even impact the schedule. It won't have any impact on the project. The reason why we keep track of like risk ratings that are 3 is because we want to make sure that they don't become 2s and 1s. You know, they don't start having impact on the project. Okay, and that's just the workbook. Okay, so I'm going to go to the summative. You can see that workbook was quite quick, quite simple. Just want to open this up. You'll see the summative is here. So then it says give examples of scheduling tools. So I've given you one so far, critical path analysis. There are so many in project management. You have the Gantt chart. You have your you can literally make a schedule in a calendar that would count. There are many, many different ways we schedule and we set up things in project management. You could do a PERT analysis. The PERT analysis is very similar to the critical path analysis. Very, very similar, just a slight minor alteration in the approach. There are quite a few others. You just have to list 10 of them. There's so many that you can easily list 10. Okay. The only thing I had a problem with once was one of the learners gave me the names of tools, but the tools didn't tell me what the scheduling tool was. Like she gave me the name of like softwares that you can use to make it, which is not technically what we want. You'll miss your mark in terms of VARCs. Okay. This is what is the purpose of using the tools. So why do we use scheduling tools? Well, it's at the core of project management. You know, part of our golden triangles, we want to manage budget, we want to manage time, we want to manage scope. It's very important. So we use it to make sure we're on track and we follow a deadline. Number 3 says explain how you would go about developing a schedule. So tell me, what are the steps you would follow to develop a schedule? Then it says, what is a critical path analysis? What is the CPA? And it says list 4 different dependencies in the critical path analysis. There are 4 different ones. We have discussed some of them today. I think we've gone through 2 of them. I'm sure you can come up with the other ones. Or you'll find the other ones with a little bit of research. Okay. Then for your workplace activities, it says identify scheduling tools and techniques that could be used in your current project. Remember, you've been developing evidence. You've been using a project of your choice to come up with evidence for this workplace activities. Okay. So they want you to come up with different tools you can use. Then it says produce an initial work schedule. So this is literally based off of the workbook. You've done it. The table's there. You can use it. And then it says identify and estimate resources for each of the activities and then optimize the work resource schedule. So they want you to actually make a critical path analysis or a Gantt chart. I honestly prefer that learners do the critical path analysis right here in the section. And the nice thing about it is you can choose. You've created the initial work schedule. You've created that. You've created that first table. So you can use that to build your critical path analysis, and it's literally it's all yours. It's your timeline, it's your tasks, it's your activities, it's your duration. You literally pick what you put in there. Okay, and then number 5 says compile a schedule and resource management plan. So based on all the tasks you've identified for your project, give us, what resources are required for each of the tasks. Tell us how it's going to be managed. Will it be frequently reordered? What kind of relationship will you need with suppliers? That sort of thing. This on its own, right here, number 5, will be some sort of document. You can make it like a 10-pager, a maximum kind of thing. And you can even include things you found in the previous sections in there. Okay. And then we obviously have our logbook where you keep record of all your activities, everything you do to complete lesson 4. Okay. Are we all good? Quite simple?
Carl,
Yeah.
could you just scroll back to the workplace based? I just want to see where it says based on the attached. It's a similar question that we had on the previous assignments.
Yeah.
Is there an attachment to that?
No, so remember that in your first lesson, you had to attach a charter. Do you remember that? Yeah. So everything you do from lesson 1 onwards is based on that charter you put in.
Oh, Carl, you know what happened with the previous activities? Was it formative 2?
Yeah.
Lesson
Summative 2.
So we got in touch with Mr. Mabaso.
Yeah.
And then we had a similar question. We said, actually, we asked him on Friday. He said, no, this was a mistake by the one who caught. So we had, it's it was a mistake, so we had to like use our own project scope statement, or so we had to disregard this attached. So now I'm worried if if we answered correctly, because if you say it was based on that project chart, and then it means we didn't
do it
yeah
correctly.
we didn't do it correctly.
But Nkolisi was actually the one who said
Yeah.
when we asked him in the meeting, when we had the meeting.
Okay, that's a little worrisome. Yeah, so if I look at lesson 2, it's right here. See, there's a summative. Let me go down and just open this up. When I look at the workplace evidence requirements, you see it will always say
Yes, this one.
based on the
Yeah.
charter. So remember, in the first one, you had to attach a scope statement. So you had to take that scope statement from lesson 1 and refine it here.
Oh, we were
Yeah.
told you can come up with anything.
No, it has to be the same. If all the workplace activities, they must all be the same.
You.
Yeah. So
Okay.
maybe I'll speak to Mkolisi. Maybe he can you guys can adjust it before he marks it. Because you can unsubmit and make edits and then resubmit.
Okay, yeah, even though it's giving us a whole lot of work now, but it's fine. I guess that's the only option we have.
Yeah, because even for this, you had to do a work breakdown structure, that WBS for this, and it has to be based on that first project you provided. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. You know,
So,
every workplace activity is going to be based on what you did on lesson 1.
no,
Guess we were misinformed then.
Okay, that's fine. I'll speak to him and we'll give you some extra time to do that.
okay, thanks.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Carl, we also received the same information. We spoke to Mkolisi and he told us that we must use the scope statement that we had attached in the previous, like the formative assessment. So, which means that we've answered this incorrectly then.
Oh, it's the one you put the one from the formative. Didn't the formative have a case study?
It did.
Yeah, that case study is not your project though. You know, it's supposed to be based off of your project.
There was a question there that requires us to come up with a scope statement, our own scope statement.
Oh, see, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Did you use your project? Normally I ask learners to use their project and then they can just copy this and paste it in the workplace and you're done. It's quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
so
that-
we compiled our
Yeah,
so
that's
we
what we did.
Okay, so is it based on the project you did in lesson 1 for your workplace in lesson 1?
No.
No, it's a new one. We just
Not.
come from our mind.
Okay, so what I tell learners to do is make the scope statement, based on lesson 1. And then when you get to the workplace, just copy and paste it into there, then it's done, kind of thing. But it must be based on lesson 1. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
And you know, it could have been a whole lot easier for us had we known that we should have based everything on lesson 1. Like you're saying, it was just about a copy and paste.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. We'll accommodate. We'll allow some extra time so we can fix these little things. Okay. I do apologize. I'll speak to Mkolisi about it. We'll see how we can rectify.
All right, okay.
Okay.
But,
And then
how will you inform us then?
we'll post on the stream. You know, we always post the reminders and stuff of due dates. I don't know if you've seen that we've been posting on here.
Yeah.
They haven't been. What is wrong? Oh, it's a different group. My bad. Let me see. Where is your group? Project management, property point. Yeah. So let me just see. Is this your group? Let's see. Because we've got 2 groups. Your group and another group is on the same track in terms of the schedule. Let me see. Yeah, this is your group. Okay, so I just want to see. So we'll post an announcement on the stream like we have been doing so that you'll know what's happening in terms of that workplace. Okay, and then I'll release the material today. Then you can start working as soon as possible.
Thanks. Thanks.
Okay, cool. Thank you, everyone. I hope you had a good session.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna end it off there. Take care, guys. And ladies.
Cheers.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Anele. Thanks, student support.